What turns a person into a monster? Is it nature, or is it nurture? For decades, this question has fascinated and horrified US. While there's no more single answer, researchers and psychologists have found disturbing patterns in the childhoods of some of the most infamous serial killers. Today, we're diving deep into the complex and often tragic backstories to explore the environmental factors and the parental influences that may have played a role in shaping these individuals. This isn't about excusing their horrific acts, but about understanding the potential warning signs and the profound impact of a child's early environment. It's a difficult topic, but an important one for understanding the darker aspects of human psychology. One of the most consistent themes we see is a childhood marked by severe abuse and neglect. This isn't just a tough upbringing. We're talking about relentless physical, emotional, and often sexual abuse. When a child's home is a place of terror instead of safety, their entire worldview becomes warped. Trust is shattered. The ability to feel empathy for others can be severely stunted. Imagine growing up where the people who are supposed to protect you are the primary source of your pain. This constant state of fear and helplessness can create a deep-seated rage and a detachment from human connection. For some, this rage begins to simmer, looking for an outlet. They learn from their abusers that power and control are asserted through violence. This tragic lesson becomes a blueprint for their future interactions, with devastating consequences. Think about it. A child who is constantly belittled, beaten, or ignored learns that they are worthless. This deep sense of shame and worthlessness can create a desperate need to feel powerful and in control. For a small, powerless child, this might manifest as torturing animals, a chillingly common precursor seen in many cases. This is an attempt to exert the control over another living being that they so desperately lack in their own lives. They are replaying the dynamic of abuser and victim, but this time, they are in the position of power. This isn't just kids being kids. It's a massive red flag. It's a sign that a child's capacity for empathy is being eroded, replaced by a cold, cruel desire for dominance. The home environment has taught them that might makes right, and they begin practicing this lesson on the most vulnerable targets they can find. Another critical factor is emotional neglect and abandonment. A child might have all their physical needs met: food, clothing, a roof over their head, but be completely starved of love, affection, and emotional support. This kind of invisible abuse can be just as damaging as physical violence. Humans are social creatures. We are hardwired for connection. When a child is consistently ignored, when their emotional needs are dismissed, they learn that their feelings don't matter. They feel invisible. This can lead to what psychologists call an attachment disorder. They are unable to form healthy, stable relationships later in life because they never had a secure emotional foundation. This profound sense of isolation and emptiness can create a void that they might later try to fill through extreme and violent acts, desperately seeking any reaction to prove that they exist and can have an impact on the world. Let's also talk about the role of a chaotic and unstable home environment. We're not just talking about moving houses a lot. We mean homes filled with constant conflict, substance abuse, or criminal activity. When a child's life is unpredictable and frightening, they can't develop a sense of security or normalcy. The world feels like a dangerous and hostile place. If a parent is an alcoholic, for example, the child's life revolves around the parent's unpredictable moods and behaviors. They live in a state of high alert, never knowing what will happen next. This lack of stability can severely impact brain development, particularly the parts of the brain responsible for impulse control and emotional regulation. They don't learn healthy coping mechanisms. Instead, they might learn to respond to stress with aggression and violence, because that's what they've seen modeled for them day in and day out. Humiliation is another powerful and destructive tool. When a parent consistently shames and humiliates a child, especially in front of others, it does more than just hurt their feelings. It attacks their very sense of self. Publicly belittling a child for things like bedwetting, a common issue often linked to stress and trauma, can create a deep and lasting psychological wound. This isn't just discipline, it's degradation. The child feels powerless, exposed, and filled with a toxic mix of shame and rage. This rage has to go somewhere. Since they can't direct it at the powerful adult who is their abuser, it gets bottled up. Over time, this repressed fury can morph into a desire for revenge against the world, a need to make others feel as powerless and humiliated as they once felt. It's also crucial to look at how violence is normalized within the family. If a child grows up watching a parent be violent towards the other parent or towards siblings, they learn that violence is an acceptable way to solve problems and express frustration. It becomes a normal part of family life. They are taught, through direct observation, that aggression is how you get what you want or how you deal with conflict. This normalization of brutality desensitizes them to the suffering of others. Empathy is a learned behavior, and in an environment like this, what's being learned is its exact opposite: a cold indifference to pain. The lines between right and wrong become hopelessly blurred. Inflicting harm on others doesn't register as a monstrous act, but simply as a familiar behavior. So, is it fair to say parents create serial killers? The word create is tricky. It's not a simple cause and effect equation. Many people endure horrific childhoods and grow up to be kind, compassionate individuals. However, we cannot ignore the powerful correlation. A childhood filled with abuse, neglect, and chaos doesn't guarantee a monstrous outcome, but it can create a fertile ground for severe psychological damage. It's like planting a seed in toxic soil. The seed itself might have had the potential to grow into something beautiful, but the poisonous environment warps its development. These early experiences can fundamentally alter a person's brain chemistry, their ability to trust, and their capacity for empathy. It's a complex interplay of genetic predispositions, brain abnormalities, and, crucially, environmental factors. No more single mistake makes a monster. Rather, it is often a relentless combination, a perfect storm of negative influences during the most formative years of a person's life. Understanding these patterns is not about shifting blame, but about gaining insight. It highlights the immense responsibility of parenting and the vital importance of protecting children. It underscores the need for early intervention when we see signs of abuse or severe neglect. Every child deserves to feel safe, loved, and valued. When those fundamental needs are not met, the potential for tragedy increases exponentially. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that help is available. You can reach out to mental health professionals or contact a support hotline. Talking to someone can make all the difference. Recognizing these patterns isn't just an academic exercise, it's a call to action to create a safer and more nurturing world for the next generation. Thank you for watching and taking the time to explore this difficult but important subject with us. If you found this discussion valuable, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the complexities of the human mind. Stay safe and take care.